Hey, greetings everyone. Um, so I wanted to make this Diablo 4 video, and I won't be. This episode will not be going through the story. I'm up to episode 13 of those, and they should be uploading like every week, maybe like every Friday. But I may do it like every Friday and Monday, but I will see. And I still did not get my horse yet. Right now it is June 7th, 2023, and I think those recordings, those first 13 episodes, were during the dates of, I think, around January 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th. So during those days of the early access, getting it 4 days earlier. I just wanted to show this because by the time you guys reach level or reach episode 13, maybe even a little bit more, but it will seem like there's 13 episodes and it's probably going to be well into fall by the time that you see, around those episodes, episode 12 or 13, it will probably be fall, and that's if I upload one episode a week. You'll be wondering why does it show I'm only like level 24, 25, something like that, and I'm now 32 because I did off-camera leveling. So this is my current character, my current level. So as you see it, as the weeks go by, you'll see I'm like, you'll see that Shikla is still like level maybe 5, 6, 7, but I've surpassed that since. So just so you guys know, and I guess I just wanted you guys to get a current look of my character, and I guess I can also maybe give my thoughts on the game so far. I really enjoyed. I do. The story is pretty good, I think. And honestly, if not for the story, this is Callisto the bear. Maybe I can even show a little bit of her. How come she doesn't turn around? Oh, okay, there. Okay, that's my Callisto. But I'll come back to Shikla. And I think this is the problem that Diablo 2 was suffering from. It's, the endgame stuff is just all pretty much the same monotonous thing. And what you're about to see here when I'm playing will not be the story, and this is basically just going around and grinding levels. And I guess it shows the importance of story, and not just an ARPG for me, but in any game really. And that's why I feel like I want to get back to Diablo or to Skyrim, but I don't know. As I said, I go to play it, and I should go on with it, but I'm in the Thelmer embassy. I think the thing about that is because I've beaten it many times already now, that game, just off camera, so I don't have any gameplay of when I beat that game on camera. I beat it like maybe for Skyrim at least maybe 2-3 times, more than that, maybe 3-4 times on console when I used to play it on Xbox 360, and then later on PC I beat it like another few more times. So maybe it's because of that, and even though I'm playing it differently, I guess that's just how I feel. I mean, I guess that's why I can't wait for something like Starfield. It helps, to be fully immersed in the game, and because of the problems that have been going on for me, and some real life stuff I'll say. It really helps, for me to get immersed in the game world, and I really need that. I really need that now. This game, though, I could picture it being very fun when you're playing with someone else or with a group. I played it for a little while with my brother, this one here, this Diablo 4, but my brother, he's not the same as, exactly really the same as before. He was in the Marines, and so now he takes some medicine, some pills for that. I don't want to go too much in detail, but like right now, and it's been happening a lot more frequently, where he starts feeling anxious or nervous or something, so he can't really play. So, and yeah, he's just it's just not the same. So mostly I have to play with myself here, with like a multiplayer game. And there's a couple other people that I think they might get this game, and then we can play, and hopefully my brother will be well enough to play it, to come every so often and join us. I myself take some blood pressure and heart medicine, and those have some side effects too, so there's that, and all the other issues that I don't want to go into detail. So yeah, this is why I love being fully immersed in these games. It helps me out a lot, and I don't like how this is taking a long time for me to get into the game, but okay, very good. So I'm getting in the game now. So that was a very serendipitous that I pretty much ended what I wanted to say. But I guess you're gonna get a taste of what it's like. It's very much like Diablo 2 in terms of, if you're not going through the story, if you didn't have the story, if you didn't have any of these side quests. Diablo 2 didn't really have any side quests, aside from maybe a couple things like getting the malice or something for Charcy. But other than that, the main story, and even I think that is something that is mandatory. But it's just grinding, and which is what pretty much Diablo 2 is, end game. And it can become kind of boring. It will get boring for something like that, and that is why you need a story. And as I said, I think the story is quite good for Diablo 4. As you will see, as the weeks and months go by, I'm going through the story and role-playing, and to me, that is where that is at. And if this game consisted only of just grinding and going out into the world randomly and killing creatures, then it's going to get boring. So but thankfully that there's more to this game than just that, and there's actually some end game. From what I heard, some very decent end game content. Oops, I'm pushing my button. I also feel that the summons aren't as strong. They're not super weak, but I think they should have made them tougher. Otherwise, enable us to have an easier way to expand the amount of skeletons we have. I don't know what the limit is, if there is a limit. Can I just keep getting gear? That gear like this one. The maximum number of skeletal mages is increased by 2, and I'm pretty sure that there's going to be ones like that for skeletal warrior, you know, so I can get this up. In Diablo 2 I had, I think, over 20 skeletons, you know, combination of mages and regular skeletons, or closer to maybe 25, and I know I can get even more, you know, so I wish if they had it something like this. See, right now this is just a total of 9 plus 1 iron golem, and they don't have a companion or a mercenary, so your party is very limited. Give me 1 second, okay? After I kill this batch. Okay, give me just a moment. I will go to town. Okay, yeah, give me a moment. Okay. Oh, oops. I thought I heard my brother knocking on the door, but it was nothing. But since I was out there, I asked if he was gonna come and join, but he's still not feeling well, so. Okay. Like in Diablo 2, what I really liked about the Necromancer was that I could charge into battle and my army would be sufficient enough to take out the enemies even without my help. I could just sit by, like right here, and let them take them on, and even though if the mobs are not so bad, they could still do that, but it's still not like Diablo 2, the killing rate of my skeletons. And if the mobs are much stronger enemies, and because my army is a little thin, see, look, even some died out. It would be very rare for my skeletons to die out. And that would even be in hell difficulty, you know, so this is veteran difficulty, and for them to just die and I have to keep respawning them. I really like playing the Necro because of the fact that I could just go around and maybe I could pick the flowers or open up the chests and stuff like that while my army is decimating the enemies on the screen. And I don't quite get that. Not exactly, not quite the same. And I've really only found that with the Necromancer class. Again though, I just want to say the Necromancer is not bad or anything, but I just wish it was much better than what we got. Now my bear, Callisto, she's really cool. I really like her, and maybe what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and showcase her now, so give me a moment while I switch characters. I guess right now I can give my my brief thoughts on this game. Overall, I pretty much, I guess, said everything I needed, but I guess kind of an overview of the, the Diablo series of games. The first one has more of like a roguelike structure, which is good. It's the one, of course, I started off with. And should I tell this story? When I worked at Funcoland back in the late 90s, and I had been playing Diablo 1 on my IBM computer, and then later I'll try to condense the story, but when I played it again, on PlayStation when I started working at Funcoland, and I have, working there is not my usual kind of job that I do. I typically work in an office in insurance, doing like claims adjusting and approving kind of work. But I haven't done that in over 20 years now. I had to start taking what I could get, but I was assistant manager there, and Cliff Shirtle was the manager. And when I introduced him to Diablo, we played it on PlayStation, but it was really bad. It was a shared screen, so we couldn't split up, and customers would have to wait on us when we were playing, which I didn't mind that. I wasn't thinking any other way at the time. I didn't really care because I don't really do retail, and the way I saw it was we don't wait on the customers wait on us. The customers don't come first, we come first. And we would just be playing there, and there's one part where if one person dies, well, the way the game is if one person dies, then you both die, and you have to reload the game. And I end up dying because I ran into a mob of enemies, and he had to restart, and he got pissed, and he just whipped the controller at the screen, but there was a plastic shield in front of it in the cabinet where the PlayStation was. He said, "God damn it, Fal. Because I told you to run back. I tried." "Yeah, well, you didn't try hard enough." And then he's like pacing us. "Okay, let's reload it." He calmed down, and we started continuing it. But that was a very fun game, and the first time seeing the Butcher and King Leoric, very fun and very punishing as well. And pretty much everyone had access to all the same powers, which were in the form of spell books. Each class, the rogue, the warrior, and the sorcerer, had, though, their one specialty ability. I think like the rogue, she could pick locks, and plus she was adept at the bow and shot the bow the fastest. The mage shot the magic the fastest and can recharge staves. And the warrior, I think, could repair weapons and attacked fast with weapons, with melee weapons. And then later on, I got into Diablo 2 in the early 2000s. I had the special collector's edition of Diablo 2. And that game, it was extremely fun at the time, and it's, to a certain extent, it is, but the story is rather thin, and after you've pretty much done it like a few times already, going through the story, the game has kind of come down to just being rushed to Act 5 and getting to Act 5 Hell just so you can level up to 100 and hunting for more gear. To me, that's not fun, but back then I didn't think that way. I was just, for me, I guess it was still never so much of hunting as opposed to me role-playing as that character, even though I had completed the story. And then, but it just, kind of went down to becoming boring, Diablo 2, and even with Diablo 2 Resurrected, it started to get boring after a while. Diablo 3, to me, I found was a bit better in the format, although I didn't really care so much for the, almost cartoony graphics. It wasn't absolutely cartoony looking, but it was compared to, Diablo 1 and Diablo 2. Whereas this one here, as you can see, they went back to that gothic look, which I love. And even with I could set everything on high, but I left the detail on high and put a bunch of stuff on low, and even then it still looks great. And I could put it on high, but I just didn't want my graphics card, hovering at around 72, 73. Now it's around 67, 68. It drops down to, maybe 50. But what I liked about Diablo 3 was, of course, I thought the story was very good too, much like this story so far here. I liked the structure of the game and the end game content that it had. I liked the bounties, the adventure mode, so you can loot find, although you won't really find much doing it this way, but in the story mode you could try to just kill the bosses, but it didn't seem like it dropped a lot of stuff. This bear is really great to play. Honestly, I like the druid here more so than the druid in Diablo 2. But the end game was where it was at with Diablo 3, with the bounties and the adventure mode and the side quests that you can get from the NPCs. You had the rifts, the greater rifts, Nephilim rifts. There were so many different activities that you could do. And then I think there were keys, the different kind of keys that you got. And there was a secret house in New Tristram in the first act. And you can open up a portal there and go to different torment worlds and kill kind of like an uber boss that is there. So it had things like that. So there was more to it than just grinding, meandering through the world and doing what I'm doing right now here. Now, of course, with that being said, it still had that, but it also had that other stuff I said, the adventure mode, the rifts and stuff. So it wasn't just dependent on just grinding, which is what I'm doing here, as I said. But the great thing about this, you could still just do that for a while, like what I'm doing here, and just grind levels and grind for legendary items if you want. Basically what I'm doing here, the same way that you would do it in Diablo 2. But the difference is, in Diablo 2, that's all there was. There was nothing more. There was no end game content. Doing that grinding, going from Act 1, 2, 3, just grinding different acts, different areas, was that was the end game. Whereas this is just one aspect or one activity of the end game. Here you'll still have a sort of adventure mode, and I forgot what they called it, but it was something to do with like the silent tree, a whisper tree or something like that, and you can get some bounties through that, along with the different, I think, like radiant quests and stuff like that. And there's the type of end game content very similar to what we had in Diablo 3. So I feel that this one is really, taking the best elements from all three Diablos. The gothic look, the endgame content, which was from Diablo 3, and the gothic look from Diablo 1 and 2. But then it kind of even goes outside of that, having a more ambitious and I even say epic, even though maybe that might be too strong a word, but maybe epic when compared to maybe some previous Diablos, but an epic storyline, main storyline with a bunch of side quests and miscellaneous quests that you can do. Much like, although again not exactly and not as robust as it, but something like Skyrim. So it even draws from elements of something like a Skyrim, a single player RPG, but not being a master at any of the three, a sort of jack of all trades kind of thing, I guess, I forgot how that saying went. Jack of all trades, master of none. I think that's how it went. Right, I think that's the saying. Jack of all trades, but master of none. So something like that, although...
It is locked.
Yeah. I think, it does fare better in certain areas, like when it does come to the endgame content. That part of it is a bit stronger than, maybe it's single player story element. But the single player story, to me so far, is still much better than the past Diablos. Or at least maybe than Diablo 3. Because, yeah, Diablo 1 and 2 had very good story too. So maybe it's more like it's on par with those. But again, it's open world, much like Skyrim. So you can tackle any quests and any of the acts in any order, versus before having to go through Act 1, Act 2, then Act 3 when you're going through the story. But once you've unlocked those acts, then you can traverse between all of them. And really, Diablo 2 and 3 actually got an Act 5, right? I forgot the name of the town in Act 3, but you go to this sort of gothic town. You fight Malthael, and I forgot that town, but it almost had a gothic, dark, foggy New England kind of look to it. And Diablo 2 had Hargarath, which in a way was also had a darker look to them.
Is someone there?
What is this thing? Oh, there it is. It's my heel. Yes, you can see I'm a wolf, right? But then when I attack, I become a bear, a werebear. And when I howl, I become a werewolf. So I love how seamless the shifting between a wolf, a werewolf, and a werebear is seamless. Versus in Diablo 2, you had to choose between the two.
Do you need help?
Please, I need your
Look,
help.
is this a quest?
I can't see.
Okay.
My dearest wanders these woods alone.
It's a side mission. That's okay.
Where are you?
I think I see her remains over there. Yeah, over here. I love the, what is this, maul or something? Maul. How it attacks in an arc. So when I'm surrounded by enemies, it swipes through, see, groups of them. Okay, wait, let me wait until there's a group. Okay, look. See this? See that? It swipes through a whole, arc of the enemies in front of me. So I really like that. And I got the upgrade where it increases that reach, and I think even the damage by 25%.
Friend? Don't leave.
No, sorry. So this class I have no problems with. The druid is quite good.
Are you still there?
I am. Sorry. Oh, fuck, I died.
Friend?
Yeah, I'm very sorry. Sorry. Hope I did not fail you. Okay, good. I'm completely focused, so... Okay. So, very good. And I also like the gambling system, you know, nothing new there, but the gambling system is also in place in this game, like in Diablo 2, Diablo 3. Whereas in Diablo 3 it was blood shards. Here you have these obels, and you gamble with that. And that's how I got some of those legendary items. Oh, here we are. Let's see what I mean, how it can quickly decimate hordes of enemies, and it just... I didn't get that feeling, that kind of experience with my Necromancer. So I feel that the Necromancer in Diablo 2 is actually better because of that. The upgrades for him also seems a little mediocre, and you have stupid shit like you put 1 point into one thing in the tree, and it gave you +3 essence, which is your like the mana pool. Here, for my druid, it's spirit. For a necromancer, it's essence, right? It just gave me 3 points of essence when I put 1 point, right? If I put 2 points, it goes up to 6. And I think when you put 3, then it's just 9. So you put 3 points into that. Like here, so you can put 3 points into something. Now I wonder, I think this might even have that same equivalent to that. Yeah, see how stupid this is? I put 1 point here, and it's 3. Okay, and after that, the second point returned that to 6, and then 9. 9 measly points. And I know it has upgrades, but it's still, you know. This would have been better, and for the Necromancer as well, if, and I think every class has an equivalent of that, it would have gone up by a percentage. I think it just would have been better like that. Oh, one other thing of note, and I think you've got the idea by now, is I'm more about this story, of course. So I'm not a meta player. Don't expect, you know, me to really be meta playing. I just, you know, I'm more about the story and immersion and, you know, side quests, game mechanics, and stuff like that, and world exploration. Versus just, I've seen one reviewer where when he played it for the first time. You know, of course, I will not mention channel names, but, and again, there's nothing wrong with that, but I don't agree with that method. He just hit escape or hold down escape and skip through all the cinematics, skip through all the story, and just rushed through everything just to level his guy up to 100 and not give a shit about the story. So when he was giving his review, he let the people know that. But I think for me it's the story that takes precedence first and foremost. And then, you know, I don't know what order to put it in, but just story, and I guess the gameplay and music, like everything else is, you know, just kind of follows. But if you don't have really a strong story, then and how immersive the world is, I guess. So number one is like story, how immersive the world is, the AI, stuff like that. What I like about this though is when you're running around the world, you know, it's kind of rare to see another player. You know, it can happen. You can bump into a player or two, but for the most part, they designed it in a way so that you are wandering the world alone. And mostly in town where you see another player. Like when you go up to town, then you might see like a few other players or so running around. But somehow they made it where, you know, just maybe every once in a while you see like another player or another group. But mostly it's played like a single player RPG, you know, again, like a Skyrim, like a Morrowind, you know, like an Elder Scrolls game, or even party-based RPGs like, you know, Pillars of Eternity, Baldur's Gate, even though it's party-based game, but it's still a single-player game at heart. The Ultima series. What's wrong with me? Okay, well, I think you get the idea. I haven't delved a lot into the other skills. As you can see, I'm just using almost like a basic attack, right? But it's a power, it's a skill called Maul. And to be quite honest, it's almost like all you need, but oops, let's see what we have. Oh, right, I would like to get some wolf companions, so let's do that. Is there one where I can get one more wolf? Ravens. One raven. Wolves deal 20x increased damage. Okay. Okay, let's try that. What? Oh, okay, okay. Here we are. Okay, guess we'll try this out for a little bit. Or something. That's really good. I should almost stick to my druid, right? But this is the one that I play with my brother, so I'm not going to progress the story because I'm progressing through the story with him. Using my druid, and I started, you know, my actual, you know, story let's play with my necromancer. Anyways, that is it for now. Yeah, I'm not feeling the greatest myself. It's more of, I guess, like an emotional thing. I'm feeling. Yeah, it's I'm feeling maybe sickly or something, which is kind of weird, but yeah, I think I need to get into, you know, like another Skyrim kind of game, or even Baldur's Gate 3. To be quite honest, I have the early access of that, but if that game was complete, it was the final product, and it is not, it's still under early access, I would be playing that one too, in addition to this. This one, I'm not expecting it to be as long as something like a Baldur's Gate. But, yeah, that's something that's, you know, more up my alley. Okay, yeah. That's it. Thank you for watching, guys, and see you.